Most people think making money is about luck, connections, or being naturally good with numbers. But psychology tells a very different story. In reality, the people who consistently make money often share one misunderstood trait. They think differently about value. Not just money, but value. And once you understand this, everything starts to shift. Because making money is less about what you do and more about how you see. Psychology shows that your relationship with money is deeply tied to your beliefs, many of which were formed without you even realizing it. Growing up, you might have heard things like, "Money is hard to earn. Rich people are greedy. We can't afford that." At the time, these weren't just statements. They became mental rules. And over time, those rules shape your behavior. Research indicates that people with scarcity-based beliefs tend to avoid risks, delay opportunities, and undervalue their own skills, not because they lack ability, but because their mind is trying to protect them. For example, you might hesitate to charge what your work is actually worth, or avoid starting something new, because you're afraid it might fail. From the outside, it looks like a lack of confidence, but internally, it's your brain trying to stay safe. Now here's the shift. People who make money consistently aren't fearless. They've just learned to reinterpret fear. Instead of thinking, "What if this doesn't work?" they think, "What if this teaches me something valuable?" That small change turns hesitation into action. Another psychological pattern is how we perceive effort. Most people associate money with hard work, long hours, and exhaustion. And while effort does matter, research shows that high earners focus more on leverage than effort. They ask different questions. Not, "How can I work more?" but, "How can I make this work smarter?" This could mean learning a skill once and using it repeatedly, or creating something that continues to provide value over time. It's not about avoiding work. It's about aligning effort with impact. Think about it like this. Two people can work equally hard. One trades time directly for money. The other builds something that keeps working, even when they're not. The difference isn't effort. It's perspective. And perspective is psychological. Another key insight is delayed gratification. Psychology research famously shows that people who can delay rewards tend to achieve better long-term outcomes. But this isn't about extreme discipline. It's about understanding your future self. People who struggle financially often prioritize immediate comfort because the future feels distant or uncertain. So spending now feels more real than saving or investing. But those who build wealth train their minds to make the future feel closer. They imagine the life they want in detail. And suddenly, their decisions begin to change. Not out of pressure, but alignment. They're not just avoiding spending. They're choosing something bigger. Another overlooked factor is identity. Psychology shows that your behavior often follows your identity, not your goals. So if you see yourself as someone who is bad with money, your actions will reflect that, even if you try to change. But when you shift your identity, even slightly, I'm learning how money works. I'm becoming someone who handles money wisely. Your brain starts to look for ways to support that belief. You begin noticing opportunities, making different decisions, asking better questions. It's not instant, but it's powerful because you're no longer forcing change. You're becoming it. Another important insight is emotional control. Money decisions are rarely logical. They're emotional. Impulse buying, fear of missing out, panic during uncertainty. These are all emotional responses. Research indicates that people who manage their emotions better tend to make more stable financial decisions. Not perfect ones, just more stable. For example, instead of reacting instantly, they pause, Instead of chasing every opportunity, they evaluate. Instead of comparing constantly, they focus on their own path. And over time, these small differences compound. Now here's something most people don't realize. Making money isn't just about earning. It's also about receiving. Some people struggle not because they can't earn, but because they feel uncomfortable accepting money. They undercharge. They overdeliver. They feel guilty for wanting more. This often comes from deep beliefs about worth. But psychology shows that when you start seeing money as an exchange of value, not a measure of your worth, that discomfort begins to fade. You're not taking, you're exchanging, and that changes everything. Because now, earning more doesn't feel wrong. It feels fair. And finally, consistency, not intensity. People often think success comes from big moves. So if you've ever felt like making money is confusing, overwhelming, or just not for you, it might not be your ability. It might be your psychology, the way you see risk, the way you define value, the way you respond to fear. And the good news is, these aren't fixed. They can change. Slowly, gently, intentionally. You don't need to become someone else. You just need to start seeing differently. Because once your mind shifts, your actions follow. And once your actions change, your reality begins to change too. So maybe the question isn't, how do I make more money? Maybe it's, what beliefs about money am I still holding on to that no longer serve me? Sit with that, because your answer might be the beginning of everything. And if this made you see things a little differently, subscribe for more psychology insights that help you understand yourself and quietly change your life.